Hey everyone, it's me, Master Walrus 9, back with another episode of Walrus's TCG Dailies. I hope you are having a wonderful day. Now, first thing I want to do to open up this video is I just want to open up 10 tiers of the Battle Pass. That's going to be 12 packs, some nice and beautiful gold cards, and some pretty awesome, just looking alt arts, full arts. So it takes a sec to receive the rewards. 200 coins, hundo crystals, 250 credits, gold superior energy retrieval. Already had 4, so that's another 1,000 credits. Always take that. Couple Sawdust Vitality. Good card if you're running ancient decks. Tulip, psychic type deck. I'm interested in running with a Sparfa. Another dark patch. It's gonna be another 1,000 credits. Beautiful. Gold fog crystal staple. Starting off with some obsidian flames. The Togekiss and obsidian flames is very interesting. I don't run it personally. For Bombadil, love my crab guys, and he's an interesting one. I don't think you're gonna see him be used on my end personally. Maybe Crabominable V. Cryogonal's interesting. And Palafin, a huge fan of Palafin. It's got a lot of mechanics to make it work, but it can definitely work. Opening up a pack of 151, wonderful. Ancient Helix. When I played Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green for the first time, I picked the Ammonite Helix fossil, and it's one of my personal favorite fossils for that reason. There's a lot of nostalgia into that, but that's we can always enjoy. This Mr. Mime's interesting. If this Pokemon and your opponents have the same amount of energy attached, prevent all damage done by attacks to this Pokemon. So it doesn't negate effects, but it's really interesting. We got the Blade, the Gimme Ghoul. Veluza's nice. Your Border. A Pokemon tool deck that focuses on discarding. If there's any set to run with it, it is Paradox Rift, but I don't know as much about the discarding aspect. I think it would work well with Rotom Vstar, which has you banish Pokemon tools from your discard pile for additional energy. So that's something to talk about into the future. Main Shao, Cursed Duster is interesting. Iron Moth, huge fan of Volcarona. The fact that Volcarona got a future and a past Paradox Pokemon, wonderful. Iron Jugulus. I'm a Gen 5 guy myself, so I see those Pokemon and I'm always excited. Parasol Lady. Not crazy. Draw 4 is alright on a shuffle. Knackley. Aegislash EX. I like this card. If I got a few more, there's a lot of Aegislash gimmicks that I like, but I need quite a bit. De-Evolution, super interesting. Nickit, Dottler, Hoopa EX. This is definitely a card I was looking forward to. You get some dark type energy for fighting type advantage. It pairs well with dark, in my opinion. It manages the psychic weakness. Personally, I think a fire type into dark, like the inverse of Charizard, would be good. But this is pretty fair. And the Energy Crush is a major damage. For 2 dark, 50 for all energy attached to your opponent's Pokemon, where most decks are going to have an average of 3 energy attached at a time. I think this is really good. Oricorio, I'm a huge fan of Pokemon that have alternate forms. So Oricorio was a favorite of mine during the time. Same thing with Squawkabilly. I haven't played it yet, the Scarlet Violet. Waiting for a nice deal in order to hit. But when that time comes, Squawkabilly's coming on the team. We got Trio, we got Nimble. Golisopod, I do want to try out that Golisopod in some sort of deck. I think there's the EX version as well, which will pair well. Fighting type Flamigo. Pretty nice. Dondozo the Bozo. Low kicks. As much as I want to use low kicks, I haven't found any that were very good at this moment. We get Larry, Nimble, Orbeetle. Orbeetle's always interesting. Elekid, love the baby Pokemon. Super excited to see what comes up in the next set. We got Surskit, Earthen Vessel, absolutely great card. This is probably going to be a staple in most decks you see. Magby is a baby Pokemon, beautiful. And we got a Feeble. Choose 2 energy from your opponent's hand and shuffle them into the deck. I don't think that's that great because if they have Earthen Vessel, that's just a net -1 to get those back. Again, Zekrom, a huge Zekrom fan. Not quite certain on how good this is. Warding to one of your bench Pokemon could work, especially if you're running Terras, since Terras will prevent damage to them while they're on the bench. I don't know. I really don't know how to feel about that Zekrom. We got Toadscruel Altart, beautiful card. And Toadscruel EX is a deck that works decently well, as long as you're not going against fire. So, this is one of those cards you want to pocket into those to shut down most. Garchomp EX, beautiful, excellent crystallization. If I get a few more of these, I do want to make a Garchomp EX deck. Tough, another Tulip. Chantal, I'm not particularly a fan of that card, but each card has its purpose. Absol, Gimmighoul. Zacian, interesting. I think this Iron Reward isn't terrible. As a basic that's non-rule box, it's more reasonable to throw it into your steel decks. Surskit, we got a Rourke. Turbo Energize, personally not opposed to this. A good ramp if you go second. Mantike, wonderful baby. Ting Lu. The Arrogant Impact is an interesting move. Very easy to get it situated, but 220 on a basic with no rule box is quite good. So you just run some heals, super spicy curry, stuff like that. Phalanx, Corviknight, Misdreavus. Oh, Altered Marrow, beautiful. I love it when they have Pokemon collaborating with the Pokemon in question. There you got a Bruxish, Clauncher, Pincurchin, love this. It's really great in the environmental storytelling. Tinkaton. I have a Tinkaton deck I should showcase sometime. Lechonk, 3.0, Blissey, Clauncher, Taruntula, Miraidon. Wonderful pulls. So, I do have a Tinkaton deck, but that's not what I want to showcase. What I want to showcase is a deck I call Drago. And it is focused on this guy right here, Regidrago Vstar. For 2 grass and 1 fire, you're going to be able to choose an attack from a dragon Pokemon in your discard pile and use it as this attack. That is strangely good because there's a lot of stuff you can do. So if I'm taking a look, I've loaded my deck up with a ton of different dragon Pokemon, such as Flapple. It does 50 damage for each of your opponent's Pokemon that has an ability. Or Dragonite, which does 180 and allows me to search for free basic energy Pokemon, attach them to your, or free basic energy, attach them to your Pokemon any way you'd like. Giratina Vstar, 280, but you gotta banish 2 energy. Hisuian Goodra Vstar, 200 and take 80 less damage on your next turn. Noivern EX does 70, prevent damage done from basic Pokemon attacks, or 140, and they can't play special energy or stadiums. Altari EX, 140, prevent the effects done of your opponent's Pokemon to this Pokemon. And Duraludon VMAX, 220, This attack isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's Pokemon. So I have a lot of variety and options, and really if you have any dragon type moves you think are going to be necessary, for example, I might want some more damage, so I might want to supplement in Dragonite EX, or Dragonite V, or Dragonite Vstar. They're both very reasonable to throw in. Taking a look at what's also paired, I'm running a couple of Arceus and Arceus Vstar. Starbirth is a good Vstar ability on its own, to the point where people run it in the Charizard and Pidgeot EX combo deck. Drago Vstar has a decent enough ability to discard the top 7 cards of your deck, put 2 cards from your discard pile into your hand. So you could really go with either one, but the more focus on the Arceus Vstar is the Trinity Nova, because it's going to allow me to ramp up my Regidrago even more. And finally, I have B-Barrel, which is going to allow me to draw up to 5. It's going to be my main form of redraw engine. Taking a look at my trainers, I have a couple of orders, 4 Iono, a Serena, a Giovanni's Charisma, and a Zinnia. The Zinnia and the Serena are primarily there to discard. Iono and Boss's orders are kind of my staples. And Giovanni's Charisma is going to allow me to put an energy from my hand to my active Pokemon, if I can move an energy from my opponent's active Pokemon to their hand. Looking at pairing items, we have Earthen Vessel, allows us to discard. Same thing with Ultra Ball, discard. This deck is going to be heavy on discard. We got a couple of switches, we got a couple Super Rods, a couple Nest Balls, and a couple of Pokegear 3.0. Plus a superior energy retrieval. This allows for discard and pulling energy back into our hand. Honestly, I could adjust and get more aspects to that I like, but I'm not crazy on anything particular. I don't have any stadiums, so I could be locked down on that end. I don't have any tools. Those are some items I might want. Other than that, I think it's alright. Finally, pairing with the energy, we're running 3 Fire, 5 Grass, and 3 DTE. Actually, let's change out 1 for a gold. The DTE is just for the... Oh, I did not mean to do that. But the DTE is just for the Arceus. If we can get the Arceus ready and ramping out, then that's good. Because it's going to be stage 2 ramp compared... Or turn 2 ramp compared to turn 3 attack. So both work, it's just one's going to be actually able to do some damage. Sure, let's just do the Tratini. I forgot which box I had. But yeah, that's Drago Bago of Regidrago Vstar. The nice thing is that you just need one of some of these dragon Pokemon, and you have a lot of variety in what you want to do with that. So let's just play a match or two and see what we're feeling. Now the problem is we are running Vstar VMAX decks. Not VMAX, but Vstar. So we are going to be taking 2 prize cards on each loss, which is unfortunate. Going first, we do want to go first. That way we can ramp up sooner than later. Get our evolutions going. No hits. We're only running 6 basic Pokemon, so that makes sense. At a singular draw, it's 1 in 10. I don't think it's unreasonable to get a basic in our opening hand, but sometimes it doesn't happen. They have the Eternatus sleeves. Now, Eternatus free mulligans, unfortunate. But Eternatus was an interesting Pokemon in the... Eternatus was an interesting Pokemon deck-wise. They gave out a free Eternatus deck out of rotation because Eternatus is D, but there was a lot of interesting mechanics that can work. Attach a Grass Energy to Arceus. Ultra Ball, I want to take out the Dragonite, and we really don't need to switch at this point. And I want to set up the Bidoof. It's going to be more important to get cards in my hand than not having cards in my hand. At this point, I think my next turn, I'm going to Pokegear 3.0 to search for an Iono. The Roaring Moon is going to be a hassle because of its ability to insta-kill, but that's why we're pocketing in the Altaria EX. It's going to be able to shut down insta-kill. The 230 HP is a high threshold to where I might consider running that tool that allows you to do an extra 10 damage. However, I could also substitute in an alternate Pokemon. But yeah, we're going to try and bait out for the Iono on the next turn with Pokegear 3.0. If we don't hit it, well, we have Serena. If we do hit it, then we'll probably use the Iono. But we also have the Serena if they have a good intro. So let's see what they have in trash. 1 Dark Energy. They can't Dark Patch out on the active Roaring Moon, but the bench Roaring Moon would be a problem. Earthen Vessel. Earthen Vessel is really good. You're able to discard cards you want trash, but you're also able to thin the deck out. Even if you don't need the energy during that turn, thinning the deck out is always important. He did get the Sada's Vitality. How unfortunate. Now the question does become, does he have the switch? And I'm pretty confident he's got a switch. Ancient Booster Energy Capsule. Trekking Shoes. Trekking Shoes. Okay. Another Roaring Moon EX. He has Switch Card. So he's getting insta-kill on my Arceus V. How unfortunate. I think the first game is lost at this point. We're going against a deck that's just too fast. Ancient and Dark is just the right combination of speed where it's hard to match up. He's going to take 2 prize cards, and if we can't pull anything on our next turn, then we're in an unfortunate situation. So we're going to Pokegear. We got Zinnia. Zinnia wouldn't be terrible, but we do want a Iono more than anything. Ugh. Not great, but manageable. We'll dump those in order to pick up a Regidrago V. Grass, and we're just gonna end turn. Next turn, we'll probably have to Vstar ability in order to take it, but Pokestop, we can manage with a Pokestop ourselves. Again, I'm a huge fan of this deck. I think it's super fun. And if you've got the cards or you got some cash and you want something to play against your buddies, I'd recommend Regidrago Vstar, especially if they made it as a league battle deck. It's a super fun deck when it works. However, I just don't see it working at the moment because it's too slow. We'll Pokestop. Perhaps we could pull something good. Triple failure. How unfortunate. We'll Legacy Star and let them take the game. Actually, we might be in a good position. So we're gonna take the Grass Energy and we're gonna take the Charisma. And here's what's gonna happen. We can Charisma, knock that to their hand, put this down, and we're gonna Apex Dragon. Now we don't have the move we need, which is unfortunate. If we had the... Oh, shoot, that's right. He's at 290. So the game's his. The game's his. Give the frowny face. First get end turn. If we had the Altaria in the trash, then we would have game for the most part. He could whittle me down with damage. But, it happens. We're gonna run another match. We didn't get the kill that we needed. We're playing against a 370. Again, I don't think that's just right. It does look like they're playing Chanpao EX, which I think is a pretty good deck, but it's not as fast as the potential of Roaring Moon EX. So we have possibilities of getting a victory here. I would love to go first, thank you. I think the free mulligans also hurt immensely. Okay, this is a decent enough intro. I can manage with this. We're at Earthen Vessel in order to trash the Noivern EX. Not the Arceus opening we would like, but it's manageable. Especially if we get the Giovanni's Charisma. So yeah, we'll Earthen Vessel, Noivern EX, pick up a Fire Grass. And I want to Earthen Vessel the Arceus Vstar. This is going to allow us to thin the deck out even more so. But we'll just set up a Grass Energy, end turn. Is it optimal movement? No. Do I think the deck could use some improvement? Yes. If you have any suggestions on how I should vary this deck, please let me know. If you want to see this deck used again with your suggestions, I'd be more than happy to do so. If you think that I'm missing out on a specific tool, stadium, trainer, something to help out, it would be lovely to know what your opinion is. The problem with Regidrago Vstar is just the energy system's too slow. There's nothing that allows it to really ramp out the energy it needs. A second, unfortunate. Well, we'll set up a Grass, and we'll hit with Celestial Roar. So unfortunate hits, because I think our Draco Vstar would have been the next hit we needed. And we trashed an Iono and a Serena, which would have both been fairly well for that banner. So the Palkia Vstar is coming out. He's got Shivery Chill. The question is, does he get the Rare Candy Arctobax? He's got Arita. The game's over. He's got the energy to kill. See, we did our turns fairly decently. I mean, we had the energies we needed. We had the Pokemon we kind of needed. It's just, it happens. The deck's slow. And so you're not going to be taking much games with it. If you figure out any ways to speed it up, please let me know. The means of ramping Grass Energy, Fire Energy, Basic Energy, the best I saw was the Giovanni's Charisma, maybe Gita. Do I want to go first? I'd love to go first. Thank you. The Drapion V, I did pocket that in there just to manage out Mew Vstar VMAX decks. Double Switch Cart for Steel Stone. Interesting. I'm almost thinking I'm playing against a Lost Box. I don't see research too much in Lost Box though, which is the thing. But they're running basics. Pokegear 3.0 is not terrible. There's the Entei V. I don't know if it's a Lost Box. Okay. So we're going to dunk with Duraludon and a Super Rod. Or to pick up the Arceus Vstar. We're going to pick up the Nest Ball to get a Bidoof. We're going to Earthen Vessel away the Pokegear in order to pick up a Grass Energy 5 and 3. Beautiful. We'll set this up on the Arceus V. We're just going to end turn. Next turn we can Arceus Vstar. We can Iono. And do fairly well. Perhaps they're running some sort of fire-based deck. Because I don't see Entei V in... what's it called? Lost Box as much. I mean, I know I use it. But that's specifically for Goldengo. The Nest Ball's occurring. Squawkabilly EX, that's really not a tell still. Nest Ball. Metachan, so Rapid Strike maybe? A DTE. The meta chance interesting. You got to put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. If it knocks it out, take an extra turn, which is super nice. 2 switches. Okay. I'm still curious on what's occurring. Iron Valiant. So it's a switch and ping. Okay. And Entei EX is their primary attacker. Or allows them to draw. See, Iron Valiant EX has a move or ability, Tachyon Bits. When it switches into the active spot, from the bench, you gotta put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Now, the Entei V, I'm not entirely certain on why you'd go for them particularly. Is it the higher HP? Research, okay. They're turboing out very fast. Magma Basin. Perhaps to ramp up onto Entei V then. Switch cart, here comes the first aspect of damage. Are they going to place it on the Bidoof? Yes, so that infers the notion that they have the HP. Or they're getting, no, oh, I see. They have another switch cart, they're going to switch in a Metachan, place the 2 damage counters onto the Bidoof, and take game. Oh, not game, but take the first kill. And get another turn. Yes, that's right. The future battle pass, whatever. Future energy capsule. It gives them no retreat cost. Yep, so there's first kill. And with the Metachain V, he's going to be able to take another turn, which is unfortunate, but that's what happens. And he can't combo that again. That way you can't make your opponent take no turns at all. If you look at the fine text, Yoga Loop cannot be used once more. However, he's gonna go in with the Entei V and deal some good damage. Okay, Arceus V, unfortunate, not where I wanted to be at. He's gonna deal 120, and I don't think he's gonna be able to kill even if he did the entire Iron Valiant set. Personally, not crazy on this deck just because of how gimmicky he is. Once you run out of those switching abilities, escape rope, switch cart, etc., it's not going to be as consistent. See, 60, then he's going to be able to go 120, 140. He can go 140. It's 20 for each bench, and a full bench is going to bring you up 500, or 100 times 5. And there's 1. So you got the base 20, the plus 100, and then a plus additional 20. That's going to be 140 overall, which is going to push us to 200, which is a super scary number, but it's manageable. We can work with this. Second Iono, not crazy. This is going to prevent us from getting knocked out by just the Entei V alone, the Iron Valiants. Unfortunate. This is extremely unfortunate. Well, boss's orders and we're gonna concede. No. We don't have to concede just yet. But we do need to pick up a Regidrago V. We're gonna Starbirth. This is gonna allow us to take up a DTE. And I'm not entirely certain. If I want to trash something, I think it's gonna come down to the Altaria. Yeah. So we'll DTE. We're gonna Earth in the Vessel, the Altaria. Pick up a Grass Fire. And we're just gonna Trinity Nova. Now, it's not gonna be able to get us our kill that we need but we're gonna be able to ramp up the Regidrago V. Almost wish I put it down first in order to get the Vstar out. Oh, it's a tricky situation right here. This is another situation in which Toadscroll EX is actually going to be decent. Now, I'm not sure if it just prevents effect damage from attacks and abilities bypass that, but I'd take the bet that it prevents all effect damage. So, yeah. What's going to go on, though, is they're going to use Tachyon bits in order to prime up. No, they're not. They're Regidrago Vstar priming. I would presume they would have primed up the Arceus Vstar because they would have been able to get an easy kill with the Metachain. But I guess they just don't have the switch available. Burning Rondo. I'm gonna move this up. I don't like having Drapion V on the bench, but I never anticipate having him there. Ultra Ball, we'll get rid of that, and we'll set up a second Drago V. Just cuz. Let me see what I got on my trash. I've got the Altaria, which I think is what's gonna be needed. Yeah, it's not really worth ramping up the Giratina. Well, we'll just use the Altaria's Light Pulse. We're missing a lot of our big hitters. If I had the Dragonite, that would be pretty solid. Because that would allow me to ramp up the Regidrago V. Switch is not terrible in this situation, but we're probably going to dump it for the superior energy retrieval. We'll be able to pick up a grass, double grass. We have what's needed for Drago V. Yeah. So, setting up another NTV, we need to keep our bench low to prevent the damage as much as possible. They do switch into an Iron Valiant. And get more damage on the Drago V. Okay, yep. He researches, which is an interesting move. He does understand the game point at this time is to win. He's already set up, so stuff like the NTV is no longer necessary. He does have the Super Rod as well to recycle. Yeah. I would consider throwing in some research into here, but I just don't have it. Tachyon bits. Okay. He's not at kill potential. I'd need to be at about 1 or 80 or something like that. So DTE is not terrible, but it doesn't help us in all good faith. So we're just gonna pick up double grass. And we're gonna knock out the Iron Valiant with G-Max Pulverization. Take these two. The Noivern would not be bad to prevent basic attack damage in this situation. The Super Rod's not terrible. We got a lot of stuff we can work with, but we don't have what we need. He switches into the NTV, which is interesting. And I think that the gimmicks run dry. You really just can't support that much switching against high HP Pokemon and against the low prize cards. Okay, he pulls out the Radiant Charizard, which is a 250 hit. That will kill if he gets it out. And he has the energy for Mega Base. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's got... No. He just needs a singular energy in hand, but Walrus' Experiment, interesting move, but it's gotta allow him to get what he needs. It's debatable if it's better than a simple draw free. Okay. And you know, personally, if I was running his deck, I would run some... I don't know, Big Charm, increase the HP of your basic Pokemon. I mean, I know he's running the futuristic booster energy for the Iron Valiant, but stuff like NTV and the Radiant Charizard, he needs a switch. He doesn't have it. This is gonna be game for us. Huge threat, but he doesn't have the switch. We always play the game like you are going to make a mistake. And so the mistake I wanted to check for, do I have a Regidrago Vstar in my deck, not on my prize cards? So there's the Dragonite and the Gudra. That was the game. So I picked the deck I played against, had an interesting mechanic. It was very threatening, but it was slow enough to where I could match the tempo. But I'm gonna leave that be for today's video. If you have any suggestions on how you would change this deck or what you want to see be played, please let me know. I am more than excited to get input. Hope you enjoyed the pack openings today. Maybe I get some good ideas for this. But this was Regidrago Vstar. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.